Okay, so we want to trace the center of your palm, Lao Gung point. For us, it's the heart point, heart and fire element. And we want to trace that at least from the tip of the elbow, passing through the center, right through that line. Right, that's where our five elements in our system. So from the center of the elbow, running straight down the pericardium to the tip of the fingertip. So from kidneys to liver, heart, and five elements, five elements, 10 organs are all in there. Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We're tracing, and we'll turn the waist. As you turn the waist, let the palms and the arms swivel. So you have to fold the elbow, right? So just let it turn and fold. Okay? Let it turn and fold. As you turn, if you don't turn, nothing happens, right? And then just reverse. It can just be a small circle. Turn and fold. Right? It traces and it passes through. As you turn, relax your shoulder. So drop your shoulder blade. Waist is level. Shoulders are level. You can feel, especially when you turn here, you have to drop and sink, right? You have to drop and sink your elbows and your shoulders so they don't rise. So you learn to swivel, feel all the joints moving, okay? And ideally, especially when we're standing, you want to turn all the way one way and all the way the other way. So depending on how you've learned your skills, you can just kind of swivel your feet or just step and walk in place. So if I'm here, I'm turning here, I'll pick up my, let me go this way. I'll turn here, I'll pick up my back leg because that'll force me to put all my weight to the front, step down, and then shift and turn and step. When I step, again, it forces me to put all my weight to one side, fold at my hip, right? And then sit. And when you sit, you want to stretch and touch your heel to the ground. So you stretch your calf muscle and your Achilles tendon. Right? And just step and back and forth, and step and back and forth. Okay? And as I say that you want to do that, you also want to do it light and smooth. Right? So sometimes if you're going slowly, let that stretch. Depends what you want. If you want to flow more, then the heel's barely going to touch down. Yeah? It's just going to move, and it's just going to move. Yeah? So it just depends what you want to accomplish. Yeah? If you go slow, you can stretch it. If you're flowing, then you don't have to do that. Okay? So you try and turn all the way, shift, keep the shoulders down, elbows down, running the palms from the elbow through the fingertips. Vibrate the palms, vibrate the fingers. Right? And you notice how I'm letting my hands starting to sweep all the way up to the shoulder. So I'm starting to wash and flush the whole arm. There's a little lift and a sink. Right? A little lift and sinking. Very much like hula, right? Related to those moves. So if you turn all the way, then the hand actually comes behind your body. And it sweeps. So your arms almost connect, right? 360. If you turn enough, they can. If you turn enough, that backhand could come all the way back here. So if I'm facing this way, right, if I turn enough, this hand actually comes all the way to here. And I'm turning, I turn my waist, it can actually come all the way to here. So my arms will actually cover 360 degrees or past. Just depends what you're comfortable with, how flexible you are. So you could have a really large range of motion. And notice when I pick up my hands, I want to keep my shoulders down. So even though it's picking up right here, working to keep my shoulders down. And working to keep my shoulders down. Coming from here and coming out. Shifting the weight, turning. When I free my back leg, then I can turn my waist a little bit more. When I free my back leg, I can turn my waist a little bit more. And that's how I get that large range of motion.
So is it better to do that for your leg?
Is it better to what?
For your leg then and then?
Oh, so Yvonne was asking, is it better? So again, it's a matter of what you're comfortable with and how much range of motion. So it's one of those things. It's not better. It's just different, right? So I can keep my feet almost connected with the ground. I don't have to lift it all the way up, but I'm still going to shift. I still have this feeling, right? I still want to shift all the way, or just lift a little bit. I could take a small step, or I could just let it swivel. I don't know if you can see my toe just swiveling. Okay? But in the beginning, if you force yourself to really pick up the leg, if you pick up the leg, then that forces 100%. So it forces you 100 and 0. So you get that full shifting. So when you're beginning, pick up the leg. So you can discover that full movement, right? You chamber it. When you talk about chambering, it's folding it back here, and then you can really feel how that your weight has to shift, and you can sink on it. Yeah. So it will force you to work on that balance, and then as you get used to it, you can make the movement a little bit more subtle, smaller step. Or you have that choice, small or large. Right? So from here, start letting it come all the way up. Here, let me turn a little bit to the side so you can see that. Let it come all the way up. So it washes through the whole shoulder joint and then scoops down. Okay? And then turn. It's going to wash all the way up the shoulder joint and then down. Okay, so this is the first basic movement. And this is the movement you always want to come back to. And it helps to join all the movements from here. Right? So it can be big and flowery. It can be smaller. Right? It really has that feeling of dance in it from here. Yeah. Okay, so shooting palms. Shooting palms. So you want to feel through your whole body, that little thread, that little elastic thread, everything's connected. And you're drawing and pulling, and lifting, and coming out. And I don't know if you can see it, sometimes I really add this turn inside, it just kind of comes out, and turning the waist, and turning the waist. Like here, I could just have these multiple vibrations. It's a good drill. It's a good drill to practice. We always want to move from the dantian. Right? Dantian grabs the spine, grabs the waist, and every movement follows from that out. So as you're doing it, take your time. Are you moving your arm and the body is following the arm and the dantian is following that? Or are you turning from the center and feeling it grab and then you move out? So just the shooting palms is a nice drill to practice turning from the dantian, making sure everything's following, and from there. So if you practice that skill, you start to see it in people, and it's something I'm just learning to do. So if you're watching with weapons, you watch people doing sword and fan, I really couldn't tell before, and now I'm starting to see it, and somebody will say, they're leading with the sword instead of leading with the body and leading with the dantian. So when you hold something, you hold your sword, you hold your fan, your mind tends to go to here. right? Instead of from here, because you get excited like, ah, let's do fan, let's do sword, let's do stick. So as you hold these things, you have to hold loose, and are you turning the tantin and everything's following, right? So this stops, then it flows, and it can't move until I move my tantin, and then it opens, and then it drags and follows. And then the momentum transfer of energy carries this out, right? And then it has to wait. It can't come back until I turn my tantin and relax all the joints. If you relax all the joints, they'll sit, and then it drags, and then the transfer of energy, transfer of movement. So just doing this simple shooting palms allows you to work. Doesn't matter if it's in the chair or standing, it allows you to really study, are you moving from the center, and are the joints and the limbs following, or are you doing it the other way from there? Okay, so simply side to side, and then getting the turn, transferring the weight, and then moving the hands up through the shoulder so you can wash through the whole arm, and adding the vibrating palms. Just shake the fingers, vibrate the palms. Okay. So then the next part from here, you turn a little bit from here as we turn. This is my right hand. So this sweeping hand is going to come up, shoulders down, elbows down, and it's going to line up right in the center. I tend to do about a palm's width, some thumb to fingertip, right in the wrist. That's my height. Keep the shoulders down, right? Shoulders down, elbows down, and as I turn, the palm is going to cut in. And again, it's the turn of the waist. The palm is turning as I turn, right? As opposed to pulling my hand across. It's keeping the shoulders down, letting this turn, letting this coil in. Connect the tip of the elbow to your tantin. So it sweeps out, it lifts up. I'm looking at the back of my hand, I'm turning my waist, palm and arm are rotating, and then it drops down, and as I turn, it's going to rub against just below my belly button and waist, right, and then sweep up. So just looking at one hand, that's the cycle, right? Same thing, as you turn, then the hand moves. If you don't turn, this hand doesn't move. Just drop it down, relax it, and then it scoops up, and then it turns. Right? Drop it down, turn your waist, rubs against, drop it down, relax, and then it scoops up. So it just kind of scoops up like that as you turn, right? It has that nice scoop. Okay, and then as you come through, you really want to add that teacup. So you want the fingertips rushing through, and then it drops down, and it comes up. So the hand will come in and circle, and then just lift the shoulder blade and turn your waist, right? It's going to cut through, then it's going to teacup, fingertips lightly rubbing, fingertips down. Drop your shoulder blade. As you drop your shoulder blade and elbow, then your fingers will naturally come up. Okay, and the hands just rotate. So going from one side, let me go angle first. Let it drop down, turning. Other hand scoops, comes up, turning, and here. Okay, so let me triangle this side. You can see this hand. Drop your shoulder blade and elbow. The hands exchange, turning. Bottom hand teacups. Drop your finger, drop your shoulder blade and angle, and they'll just drop this down. Hands exchange, turn. Bottom hand teacups. Drop your shoulder blade and elbow. You drop your shoulder blade and elbow, And then the palm just goes by itself, turning the waist. Oops. So, a lot of our frozen shoulder is our fault. Right? We lock our shoulder blades, we're lifting our shoulders, we just don't release that. It's just kind of psychologically, right? We're all tense and tight, and we can't release and let go of our shoulder blades. So in these drills right here, drop your shoulder blade, drop your elbow, and just let everything fall and follow the movements. Okay, so as we continue to modify, right, just going from side to side, catching the whole shoulder, turning all the way around, right, and then teacup and coming up across. You can let it come all the way. Let it come all the way to the shoulder. Right? Bottom hand teacups, and then this, if it comes to the shoulder, as you come across, instead of coming across here, it can just slide right down, and it'll cut across all these channels. Right? All the channels running this way, all the channels running this way. As you turn, it'll cut right across, and then you teacup. Okay? So you have to do it slowly to really think about how to do that. Right? Comes across to the shoulder, comes up. As I'm turning, it's going to come down. Right. Bottom hand teacups. I'll let this hand come here, come across. This hand rises as I'm turning. It cuts diagonal. Yeah. Bottom hand teacups. It cuts down. Yeah. That's just a notice. Just a notice. You can ignore it. I have to really think when I do this to structure it. So you can see how these moves, they're not stuck. You start with a basic, and they just keep on evolving from here. Okay. So the next thing we want to look at is your teacup hand. So the teacup hand comes in fingertips, right? If I'm coming in, it's going to rotate. So you want to keep the shoulder down, elbow down. And right here, if I drop my shoulder blade and drop my elbow, it'll drill my hand down. And I want to massage my kidney area here. So as I'm coming down, I want it to scoop here and circle, so that the inside, the thumb side, massages my kidneys. It scrapes, and then I drop this down. As I'm coming through, same thing, the inside of my forearm can scrape right against here, drop the kidneys, massage, have all of that going on. So as I'm turning, it rotates, right? If I don't turn, I cannot get this rotation. So I turn, and it scoops. The more you can turn, then the farther back you'll reach. So don't force it back here unless you can turn. So if I come here, that's all I'm turning, I'm done. If I come here, I turn some more, I'm done. I want to get all the way back, I have to really turn, and the turning will drill this. Okay? So don't force coming back here. Just relax the shoulders, everything's down. Okay? So I have this teacup, and then I start evolving, it starts refining. It can become almost like, it can start gathering, like, what am I thinking, like single whip, like the single whip hand. Right? It can start creating almost a beak if you wanted to, where it could come inside, right, and scoop down. Let's see. Come inside, right? And scoop down. Come inside and scoop down. So coming inside, right? The fingers could be almost start closing, and then as I rise, they'll open. So as I come together, the fingertips will close and coming up. Almost like doing the Yang style single whip, the beak. Okay? So come in, turning, fingertips together. As I turn, it opens and rises. Okay? So turn, right, it scoops down, and then it rises. Turn, scoops down, and then it rises. Turn, scoops down. Okay, and then as I come up, I want to start adding those spirals. So not just coming up, but so not just rising like this and coming across, but as I come up, I want to spiral my hand up. Right? So my palm is facing me, but it's spiral and lifting, stretching the fingertips, coming up. So I'm coming down, as I'm turning into it, the palm is starting to lift and spiral up. Okay, and then to get back to that, I'll turn. Notice how tight the rotation is. The arm doesn't swing away. Just keep the shoulder down. Drop the palm. It's like you're tapping something, like you're just tapping something, right? And it'll actually be two hands tapping something. And then I'll start the movement. So square to the front. Okay. I'll come here. This hand will drop. As his hand spirals, it kind of grabs that hand. They both rise. Both palms turn down and drop and tap. And then I'll turn to the other side. Right here, it just kind of grabs that hand, right? I don't have to physically touch. You can kind of feel it rising, shoulders down, turn the palms down, drop the shoulder blade, elbow, and tap. So there's that little, so just like a little slap right there, and then turn. Okay, if I'm facing my back, right? So that scoops, massages, this hand drops down. As it rises, it grabs that hand. The bottom hand is lined up with my elbow. Rotate this palm and slap. And then turn the other way. And teacup on the bottom. Right? This hand drops. It grabs it, it rises. Tap. Teacup on the bottom. This hand drops. And grabs. And taps. It's spiraling up, rising a little, and then tap. So if I turn angle, if you want to feel this hand coming together, just for a little while, physically, the bottom hand rises. Physically, let it touch the other hand so you can feel it grabbing and lifting, and then this hand falls into the height of the elbow. Eventually, you don't have to have the physical touch. It's there. If you did a two-man drill, you could actually practice that move, yeah? Where you're actually touching and seeing if that person, you can just drag that person along with you. And that's the whole sensation. Coming up, down, relaxing, and drag, comes up, so it just drags it up, down. So you can see my whole body starting to create these coils and turns coming down. Not just the hands, but the whole body starts winding and down. The whole body's right here. Turn, 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 and down. Turn, 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 and down. So it evolves into, right, the whole body drilling, rising, and down, and vibrating of the fingertips. Okay. Oh, come. So if there's a two-man drill in there that you're doing by yourself, relax, 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 relax. Just keep your hand here. Just keep your hand here and follow and relax, right? So if I'm rising, right, it's rising and drilling and then down. Right? So you can feel this just grabbing and dragging something and rotating and down. Okay? So if you spiral your hand up, right? So your hand is coming from here, right? So it's coming in, it teacups, scoops down, and then scoops down and it rises and drills, spiraling, spiraling, spiraling. Yeah. So from here, spiraling, spiraling, spiraling. Yeah, there. If you're starting to drag this hand, fingertips. Yeah. Drop your shoulder blade, drop your elbow, and then just stretch the fingertips. So teacups, it comes through. Drop your shoulder blade and elbow, that drills it down. Yeah, and then it's going to drill straight up. There. So it's just going to do that. So on yourself, right? You don't have two people, you have two arms. So as you're teacupping, this hand drops down into place. This hand kind of grabs it and draws this hand up. You still feel that feeling. So even if you see me rise, I still have to be bent. I still have to be bent. So I'm still expanding, but sinking into here. So I can expand a little, lift the sternum a little, and then tap. And then begin again. Okay? So I'll face an angle a little bit, right, to just review. Starts off with the shooting palms side to side, and the hands start expanding, okay. And then they lift, and then the teacup, and they start massaging the kidneys, and then eventually everything rises and taps. And if I release the back leg, I can go all the way around. Yeah. Can really turn, rising and down, rising and down. Okay, so when you do it on your own, just start off with the basic, and then larger, turning around. And then you just have to play with it and discover where it comes out. Okay? And just keep adding and adding and layering it. And don't think about it too much. Think about it, but don't think about it too much. That's the riddle, right? Yeah, if you want to learn it, you have to practice it, but you have to let it go so it can come out too. So you train it, practice it, and then relax and just let it come out, see what comes out. And then train it, structure it, practice it, and then let it go, see how it's changed and comes out. Okay? All right, so that's the first 1 and 2 parts. So then the next part, any questions? Email me your questions. All right, so then the next part, we're going to do the triple burner channel. All right, so first one is the side to side. Now we're going to drill straight up over the crown, turn, and you can feel this palm kind of turning like it's turning a dial, and that's going to turn. Drop the shoulder blade, I'm starting to turn back, maybe 45, drop the shoulder blade, and then that palm goes behind me, right? So if I'm facing my back to you, I'm going to turn, this is going to drill my hand up, go over top of my head. Try to get 45 if I can, but I don't need to. Right? Turn and palm. And then it comes back and turn back, and the hands exchange. So now my right hand is going to rise, and I'm going to turn, my left hand, I'm sorry. And it just goes back and forth. Okay? So one hand is drilling up, one hand is falling. I'm turning. As I'm turning, my palms are opening. I give a double palm. I come back. And then rising and drilling, rising and falling over my crown, turning and down. And coming back, rising and drilling right in the center, turning right in the center of the spine, and then palms. Coming back, rising and drilling, and here. Okay, so as I'm turning, come up from here, as I'm turning, my palms are starting to open, and palm, right? So come up from here. It could be a really tight turn and palm, or it could be from here, just opening up and expanding from here, and then dropping back to the center and palm. Right? So anywhere in between there is fine. Yeah? And once you understand that, the turning, if you're standing, you want to turn it into a walk. So walking in place. And follow the center. You can look up a little bit. You don't have to look up all the way. Just breathe naturally. The in and out breath will just align by itself. Okay? So I want to turn it into a walking. So as my right hand rises, my right leg will pick up. I'm going to balance, going to turn right on the center and tap. And this leg will turn, right? As my waist turns, the whole leg will turn. Will turn as much as you are flexible. And switch. You really have to take your time, feel that balance. The further up you look, right, the more difficult it is. You really have to feel that center. It's really training that center. We're following that center line, turning, tap. So even if you're in the chair and you're not stepping, you're really looking for that center, the spine, where are you turning from? You're still feeling all of this shifting right here, that dialing and turning, settling, letting everything go, and then coming back. And even in the chair, you could still pick up your feet. And then you'll feel that force of, it'll force you to shift, even if you're in the chair. Get right over the center, turn, both palms are turning. Take your time. Relax your head, relax your neck. Still holding that posture. Top of the head still connected up to the heavens. Bottom of the feet are relaxed, sinking, flowing into the earth. Don't press, just let it be heavy and relaxed, no resistance. Yeah. If I look up, that really challenges, right? Where's my center of balance? I have to really take my time. So you can make this as easy or as difficult a drill as you want to. Huh? So, and I drop down, and coming up is a little drop down and a little lift, the spiral. Bottom hand is by my heart, supporting the heart. Top hand is crown and third eye. As I tap, this hand is issuing from the heart out through my palm. Dropping down. Right? If I wanted to, I could lift all the way up. And then I could drop down. When I finish, I want to make sure I'm issuing from my heart out through my palm, let everything go. So you can see how this drill, you don't want to rush the drill. finish the move, study every move, take your time, let everything go. So if I go up and down like this, I'm exercising my leg muscles a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit more of that pump. But even if I try to keep it level, it's still in there. It's a lot of fall prevention in here. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of fall prevention. Take your time, find your center. It forces you to settle and open your joints. Yeah. Okay. All right. So quick review, right? The shooting palm side to side, and then that evolves into this. Right? The number 2. Sorry, I don't know the names of all these drills. Right? From here to here, and then rising and drilling and falling and turning. Right? So this is number 3. There. Okay. So number 4 is made up of 2 moves. First move is pressing dragon rolls over. So hand presses and then it turns. And same thing, you have to turn your body and the elbow lifts. You turn from the center, drop your shoulder blade, and then the help comes out. Right? So if I face you, comes out, I'm going to turn, it's going to lift like I'm supporting a bag of rice up there, turn my waist from the center, take my time, drop my shoulder, and it comes out. Okay. So dragon rolls over, left hand or right hand, and turn and lift from the elbow, and you can see me pulling and stretching up. Okay. So my weight is on my back leg, this is my left hand, weight is on my right foot, my left heel is starting to stretch up as I'm opening all of this up. So take your time and don't overstretch first. Right? So it comes up, turn my waist, look behind me, and then look behind my shoulder, drop my shoulder blade, and the hand scoops up and a shift. Okay? So that's called dragon rolls over. So dragon rolls over is like a press, and it comes behind and rotates, and it comes out. Okay? This is dragon rolls over. So the whole body, right? The whole body is lifting, rotating, and coming out. So the whole body has that roll to it. Okay? And then the next move is called removing the helmet. So your hand reaches behind. It's like you're lifting the helmet up, pulling it out, and taking it off. So the hand reaches behind, and you have to turn the waist. So my hand is my right hand, right? I'm going to turn my body to the right, and as I turn my body to the right, I go under my right arm, and my right arm can drop, and it can free. Okay? So if you're in the chair, let me show you the difference first, because this one does make a little bit more difference, right? If we're standing, we can walk all over, but if I'm in the chair, right, I'm just here. So if I'm in the chair, and then it's my right hand, left hand is going to be here. I'm going to press to the front, turn to my right, and lift that elbow up, turn, and let it open. Dragon rolls over from there. Yeah. All right. Okay. Lift, and then dragon rolls over. Okay, then I'm going to do a shooting palm. My left hand's going to come across, turn my waist, shooting palm, My left hand is going to come behind. And I'm going to turn. As I turn to my right, my left hand comes over, under, and my left palm presses, like putting the helmet away. And then I do a double pump, and then dragon rolls over, so lift the elbow, hand starts off on the sternum, right hand shooting palm underneath, and the right hand is going to go behind the head, elbow lifts, turn to the left, my right hand comes across, my right hand puts the helmet away, and then pumps. And now, because I want to get that angle, I'm going to tilt my body to keep that alignment. Rotate right in the center, drop my shoulder, shooting palm, left hand goes under, left hand goes behind the head, turning, dropping the shoulder and elbow, left palm puts the helmet back, bring it back, and then pump, dragon rolls over, and right hand goes under, reaches behind, turn the other way, come out, and start again. Okay? So the seated will be, everything's a modification from there. Okay, so the standing has the full range of motion, and the standing, we go from one side, we cover 180, and we turn all the way around. So if I'm stepping out of my right foot, my right palm, right? I'm going to press. My left palm is about my sternum and heart. And I sit back, draw my right elbow up. Right? I just have to tilt my upper body to align that. Rotate to the right, go under my right hand, drop my right shoulder and elbow. And as I step forward, then I'm going to do the shooting palm. So I step back, right, shooting palm, I'm facing to my left, and then I'm going to remove the helmet. So I'm going to sit back, reach behind, lift the elbow like I'm supporting something, rotate to my right, and drop my left hand, go under, right? And as I turn back, I'm going to swing. So two hands open up, and then my right hand taps the top. My left hand swings behind. The left hand's going to swing here. So I'm going to open from here. Then I'm going to turn. As I turn to my right, my left hand's going to open. I'm going to sit back. Dragon rolls over. My right hand's going to shoot underneath. I'm going to step. I'm going to turn. Right hand's going to go reach behind me and sit. Turn, rotate under my right arm comes back, and then I'm going to turn to my right, my hand's going to swing, left hand up, right hand behind. Okay? And then turn to my left, that's going to open my back hand, right? So as I turn, it's going to open my back hand. So let me face you, right? I'm facing the front. As I turn, I let my backhand swing, and then sit back, lift, rotate under, step out, bottom hand shoots underneath, turn, reach behind me, my right hand is on my sternum, rotate, drop my shoulder and elbow, and then swing. So the hands open, right hand on the top, left hand swings. Then left hand dragon rolls over. Lift, I'm standing on my right leg, left elbow lifts, rotate right in the center. I'm going to step forward, right hand shoots underneath, rotate, right, shooting palm, sit back, right hand reaches behind to remove the helmet, lift the elbow up, supporting the weight, rotate underneath and drop the shoulder blades and then swing. So open, left hand on sternum. Yeah. And then repeat. So it just goes back and forth. You start your rotations relaxed and small, not too tight, otherwise you're gonna strain the muscle. Easy to strain the muscle. Yeah. Dragon rolls over. So as you do dragon rolls over, as you're turning, drop your shoulders, relax, and you'll feel the shoulder blade extend out from you. And you turn this palm as much as it's comfortable for you. So as I sit back, it folds and it lifts. And you want to align everything down. Feel like you're supporting a nice large weight up there. This hand is going to sit here. And then I can't fight like this, so I just let my whole body tilt, relax my neck, and expand to what's comfortable. Don't start off with this huge stress. Just work into it until you can stretch more and more, and then turn really tight under. Drop the shoulder blade, and then open up and come out, and then shoot this hand and come out. Okay, so I'll just rotate different angles to you, and you just gotta kind of work it out, just alternating. Yeah? So I'll start off facing you. Okay? So it starts off with the shooting palm. Right? I'm gonna sit back, rotate, look behind my shoulder, swing, and then dragon rolls over. Step, shooting palm, remove the helmet. So if you're sitting right over here, you'll just put the helmet back. Standing, we swing, and then turn. The arm opens up, sitting back, lifting. Bottom hand resting on the sternum, shooting palm. Reach behind, hand falls into place. Nice tight rotation, swing, extend, lift, take your time, come out. Swing, left hand on sternum, right hand, dragon rolls over, right arm. Relax the neck, shooting palm, turning to the left, reaching behind, removing the helmet. Drop the elbow, swing, right hand on sternum, left hand, dragon rolls over. Right hand reaching behind, lifting, rotating, swinging, opening again, right elbow up, and coming out. Yeah. And then when you're done, or if you just need to take a break, just shooting palm back and forth to warm down. Okay, so yeah, it takes a little while. It's easy to say it's only 2 moves, but yeah, it takes a while to go back and forth. And once you get it, it's like, oh, it starts to make sense. Once you get it, it's not overnight, right? So, right? So out of the shooting palms, right? It's just natural to reach behind you. Right? Shooting palms, and your hand just swings behind you, and then lift. And then the evolution with the hand sitting on the sternum, it starts to drop lower. Right? This is an anchoring hand, helps you to anchor in the beginning, but then it starts to drop lower and starts to come out. So from here, starts to come out and starts to pull and open, and that's going to turn your waist for you. So if I'm dragon rolls over, and then my inside hand starts to drop, right? I can feel my shoulder blades connecting, rotate, shooting palm. You can drop a little bit, it kind of stays there on the sternum. But on dragon rolls over, this hand can drop and it can start to open, and it can start to help to lead that turn or add to that turn, the twist to the body. On removing helmet, it kind of just sits there and then waits for the swing. But when dragon rolls over, that bottom hand can start to drop and connect the whole arm and start to extend out. To really cause that turn. So if where am I? If I'm from here, this hand is dropping down and it starts pulling, it'll rotate. So the bottom hand starts pulling and coming out. Yeah? If I face a little bit to diagonal, right? The bottom hand starts shooting out, right? And that adds to the rotation. Right? And then you end up like this, right? So then you ended up circle, right? Your arms are rounding like a hula hoop or something, yeah? From there. Okay, so we'll just run through it a little bit. Yeah, you can come back to the video and look at it again. So dragon rolls over. Start with the hand close to the sternum. Reaching back. Removing helmet, swing. Dragon rolls over. Shooting palm. Removing helmet. Drop your shoulder blades. Swing. And then the bottom hand starts opening. Dropping down. Swing. Bottom hand drops down a little bit more, becomes more involved. Until finally the bottom hand starts extending. So drop the hand and start reaching with the bottom hand so it opens the circle for you, opens the spiral. Take your time on the turns, take your time on the stretches. The bottom hand reaching out and coming through. Okay. All right, so let's just warm down. So just warm down with the shooting palms, small or large, just swinging. Keep the shoulders down. Yeah, making sure everything's open and loose. Yeah. Doesn't matter chair or standing, just loosen up everything. And relax, everything flow. Yeah. Do about 3 of these. Check your alignment, check your breath. Relax. When you're by yourself, just do as many as you need to adjust the pace for you. Okay, so standing or seated, we'll finish with the bell meditation. Okay. You can rest your palms up or palms down. Okay. You can feel the difference. Palms up, it kind of pulls and connects the whole body. Palms down, everything lets go a little bit. If you prefer, hands on the side. If you want to hold gassho, you want to hold any of the mudras, that's fine. Yeah? And just relax and drop your breath down. Okay, close your eyes, extend your legs. Gentle breathing. Focus on sinking your breath down to your lower tanden. Okay, slowly open your eyes, rub your hands together, get your fingertips or your fingers in and out of each other loose. You can make circles as you do them. Warm them up. Warm up your eyes. Yeah, loosely, barely touching your face. Just the heat. Just feel the heat being absorbed into your eyes. Imagine your eyes getting brighter and brighter, clearing it out. And then just tap the top of your head, light cupping. Work from front to back, from center to outside. Tap the back of your head, back of your neck, just with your fingertips, and then just drop your elbows and use your fingertips. Just pull those muscle tissues away from the spine and your cervical. Turn your head from side to side. Pull two sides at once or one side and alternate. And up and down, and just work your fingers up and down the neck. Yeah. Okay, pull the top of your ears, just unroll them up. And then down, pull all the way down. This is one of the favorite pacifying things that our baby girl likes to do. So she'll grab our ears and she'll just, she'll just pull them and touch them. And then if we're not around, she does her own ears. So she'll do this to her own ears. She won't let me do it to her ears. But she can do mine and she can do hers. Yeah. Okay. All right, light tap, top of shoulder, and then just work your way and go outside, and then top, and inside, underneath. Yeah. Same thing in general, 3 times, or whatever is comfortable for you. Light tapping. Yeah. Wake everything up, open up blockage. And then you're also teaching your body, don't forget how to deal with little bumps. So it's a little bit of conditioning. Right? You tap, and then a little bit of the rib cage, just a little bit. Open everything up. The kidneys loose, let your hands flat. And then hips, then back of legs. Side of legs, front. Yeah, good. Yeah. And if you have any of your own little warm-ups or warm-downs, yeah, now's the time to do that. Okay. All right, so hands up. and down. And you can always come back to these. So just nice to reset everything.